99% of the rich life is actually just having a warm bed to sleep in without the possibility of somebody just killing you in the middle of the night. That's 99% of the rich life. Everything else, it's kind of plus because you can live without an iPhone because most people in history lived without an iPhone. You can live for a few days, I guess, without water. You can live for a week without food and all of that. Of course, it's very important, water and food. It's very important, but at the end of the day, it actually goes hand in hand with the warm bed to sleep in. Okay, you can go without sexy accessories, all right? You can go without them. You can go without them. You can live without them. You can live without so many things, all right? Everything is kind of like the law of diminishing returns. Now, if you don't know what the law of diminishing returns is, it's kind of like after a certain point, everything else, it's not worth it, basically, okay? It's kind of like a phone from 200 euros and a phone from 2000 euros doesn't actually, it's not like 10 times better. If it's 10 times more expensive, doesn't mean that it's 10 times better because 99% of the features that you need are already in the phone of like 200 euros. So why would you spend 2000 euros for a fucking phone when you already have 99% of what you need in the 200 euro phone? So this is the reason why people buy those expensive ass shit. For the status. That's why they buy it, for the status. They don't buy it because they actually need the 1% plus. They just buy it for the status. And we need the latest Mercedes, the latest iPhone, the latest this, the latest that, to make ourselves look rich in front of other people. But I don't see the point of it, because when you make yourself rich in other people's eyes, you don't impress people, man. You don't impress. You create envy and you paint a target on your back, especially if you live in some poorer neighborhoods. People are gonna be plotting to fucking rob you. At least that's how I grew up, man. That's how I grew up. Maybe you live in a very good gated neighborhood. Well, good for you. Good for you. Maybe everybody is rich in your neighborhood. That's good. But then I realized, man, most people in the history never experienced the pleasure of sleeping in a warm bed with a warm pillow and warm blanket and not fearing that somebody's gonna kill them in the middle of the night. Somebody's gonna invade the village, all right? Almost nobody, when you think about it, experienced that in the history of the world. They were just afraid of somebody just killing them, or maybe their bed was not good enough. Maybe they were sleeping on the floor, which is probably... I've never slept on the floor. I've never slept on the floor. I'm just so fucking privileged when you think about it. I've never slept on the floor. If you go and say that to somebody 200 years ago, they would be like, you're the richest person that I know and I've heard of. You're the richest person ever, okay? If I tell to somebody that I've never been thirsty, all right? I've never been thirsty, because whenever I feel a slight thirst, I go and drink my water because I have water, plenty of water. I'm so abundant of water and food. So when I realized that everything is the law of diminishing returns, everything. I don't need this camera. I don't need a phone. I don't need any of that, all right? I don't need good clothes. At least I have some clothes. I don't need stuff like weird shit. I don't luxury and all. I know I like accessories and I like the other stuff. I like them, yeah, but I don't necessarily attach myself to them. I don't get attached to them. So it's it makes sense, right? So that's riches. I'm not a philosopher here. I'm not trying to fucking tell you anything. I'm just reminding myself of this, because wow, when you think about it, even this is even more astounding. Astonishing. I meant astonishing. Most people in the history of the world never experienced the pleasure of a warm shower. And guess what? I'm gonna be having a shower, right? Like in about 10-15 minutes from now. You know, I'm gonna have a warm shower. A warm, beautiful shower. Most people in the history of the world never experienced that. Like, bathing whenever you want. And I don't think that at least half of the world maybe are not experiencing that. So just myself having a warm bed to sleep in, having water on demand, having food on demand, having safety, and a warm shower makes me basically one of the richest people in the history of the world. That's it. That's it. You know, do I need a fucking Lamborghini? I don't need a fucking Lamborghini. Why would I even fucking use that as an example? But come on, man. And I have people that love me. I mean, come on, everything that I have. Everything that I need, I have. That's it, and I'm very peaceful when it comes to that. There's no desire for me to do anything. This is why I'm sitting here. I'm making videos. Why? Because it's fun. Because I don't want to waste my time like scrolling too much or watching movies. I'm like, you know what? I want to create something myself. Even if that something that I create is actually bad, is actually average. I don't need to create something wow, I don't have to create the best videos in the world to just get approval from fucking strangers on the internet. I do not need that. I don't feel the need for it. So you know what? I feel the curiosity to make videos like this, just talking to the camera, because it's fun, I guess, for me. But that's about that. I don't need approval from strangers, even though I like some positive comments here and there. But at the end of the day, it's not like I am relying on them as my life support like most creators do. So that's about that. This is very interesting, right? It's very interesting, and I really want to think more about this, and I want to think more about this every single day, because sometimes we see some stuff and we're like, I want that, I want this, I want that, and then you make that, like that quote, desire is a contract you make to be unhappy until you get what you want. There was a quote somewhere that I read by, I don't know, maybe Naval Ravikant, maybe Tim Ferriss. I don't know the person who said that. Maybe somebody said that. All right, desire is a contract that you make to with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. So this is like, I don't have any desires, because basically everything that I need, I have.